Hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, and today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the Incas. But before we get started, let me ask you this. What if I told you that one of the most powerful empires in history didn't even have a written language? Stick around, because we're about to uncover the mind-blowing story of the Incas. Alright, let's kick things off with the origins of the Inca civilization. Picture this. It's the early 13th century in the Peruvian highlands. A small group of Quechua-speaking people starts to form a community in the Cusco Valley. Little did they know that their humble beginnings would lead to one of the most impressive empires the world has ever seen. Now, you might be wondering, how did these guys go from a small tribe to ruling over millions of people? Well, it all started with their first leader, Manco Capac. Legend has it that he was sent by the sun god Inti to bring civilization to the Andes. Talk about a divine mission, right? But here's where things get really interesting. The Incas didn't just rely on myths to expand their empire. They were master strategists and diplomats. They often tried to peacefully incorporate neighboring tribes into their empire by offering gifts and alliances. And if that didn't work, well, let's just say they weren't afraid to flex their military muscle. Speaking of muscle, the Incas were absolute beasts when it came to construction. I'm talking about massive stone structures built without mortars that have stood the test of time for centuries. Machu Picchu, anyone? But it wasn't just about building impressive monuments. The Incas were engineering geniuses who created an extensive network of roads, spanning over 39,000 kilometers. That's like circling the Earth at the equator. Now let's talk about their social structure. The Inca Empire was like a well-oiled machine with the Sapa Inca or emperor at the top. This guy was considered a living god, descended from the sun itself. Talk about a power trip. Below him were the nobility, priests, and military leaders, followed by artisans, farmers, and laborers. But here's the kicker. Despite their strict hierarchy, the Incas had a pretty sweet deal. When it came to social welfare, they had a system called mita, which was basically like taxes, but instead of money, people contributed labor. In return, the government made sure everyone had food, clothing, and shelter. Not too shabby, right? Now I know what you're thinking. How did they keep track of all this without a written language? Well, my friends, that's where the quipu comes in. These were intricate knotted cords used to record everything from census data to historical events. It's like ancient Excel, but way cooler. Let's talk about Inca religion for a sec.
Hey!
These guys were polytheistic, meaning they believed in multiple gods. The big cheese was Inti, the sun god, but they also worshipped nature deities like Pachamama, the Earth Mother. And get this, they practiced human sacrifice. I know, it sounds brutal, but it was actually considered a great honor. The chosen ones were often children who were treated like royalty before being sacrificed to the gods. Now, you can't talk about the Incas without mentioning their agricultural prowess. These guys were farming wizards. They developed a technique called terrace farming, carving steps into steep mountain slopes to create more farmland. And they didn't just grow any old crops. They domesticated over 70 plant species, including everyone's favorite superfood, quinoa. But wait, there's more. The Incas were also master weavers, producing some of the finest textiles in the ancient world. They used vibrant colors and intricate patterns to create clothing that wasn't just functional, but also a work of art. And get this. The quality of your clothing indicated your social status. Talk about wearing your heart on your sleeve. Now, I know we've been hyping up the Incas, but like all great empires, they had their downfall. Enter the Spanish conquistadors, led by Francisco Pizarro. In 1532, these guys showed up with horses, guns, and a whole lot of ambition. The Incas, who had never seen horses or firearms before, were at a serious disadvantage. But here's the real kicker. The Inca Empire was already weakened by a civil war between two brothers fighting for the throne. Talk about bad timing. Pizarro took advantage of this internal conflict, captured the Inca Emperor Atahualpa, and demanded a massive ransom of gold and silver. And even though the Incas filled a room with precious metals, the Spanish still executed Atahualpa. It was a brutal end to a once mighty empire. The last Inca stronghold fell in 1572, marking the end of their independence. But here's the thing. The Inca legacy lives on. Their descendants, the Quechua people, still inhabit the Andes today, keeping many of their ancestral traditions alive. And let's not forget about the incredible archaeological sites they left behind. Machu Picchu, Ollantaytambo. These places continue to baffle and amaze us with their architectural brilliance. So, there you have it, folks. The complete history of the Incas in a nutshell. From their mythical origins to their tragic downfall, these guys left an indelible mark on history. They built an empire without iron, the wheel, or a written language, and still managed to become one of the most advanced civilizations of their time. But here's something to think about. What if the Incas had developed writing or had access to more advanced technology? How different would the world be today? It's mind-boggling to consider the possibilities. All right, that's all for today, guys. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about ancient civilizations, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And do not forget to leave a comment letting me know which ancient empire you want me to cover next. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring the past.